Hey, do you know what time it is? That's right. It's time for Coach Lindy's podcast. The podcast to get you moving. Hi, I'm Lindy Hutchinson, a certified life mastery consultant with the Brave Thinking Institute. As a life coach, I help others transform their life as I have mine. It's not easy, but it is possible, and it most certainly is worth it. Each week, I'll share insights that inform, inspire, and ignite in you your desire to create a life that you love. So let's find out what's going on this week. Welcome to Coach Lindy's podcast. It's always a pleasure to be with you. And this week, we're in episode 36. And our featured top banana, the author, John C. Maxwell, who we've talked about and featured before in episode 7. We reviewed his book, Sometimes You Win, Sometimes You Learn, which is very similar to what this book addresses, Failing Forward. We have a way of feeling negative about failures. I can't do it. I'm such a. So what he discussed in this book and why this book is so essential, especially in your personal development library, and some thoughts that you want to keep in your mind as you progress forward, is that, as he says, turning mistakes into stepping stones for success. He says the difference between average people and achieving people is their perception of and response to failure. Everybody has failures. What we need to stay away from and need to be aware of, using the words, I am a failure. I can't do this, I'm a failure. No, if you've tried even if you tried several times, we're going to call it feedback. It's been said that Thomas Edison tried 10,000 times before he successfully created the incandescent light bulb. And someone asked him, well, how do you feel about that many failures? And he says, I don't see it as failures. I see it as feedback. So that's what we are going to talk about this week with John C. Maxwell, Failing Forward. A little review. Mr. Maxwell was born in Garden City, Michigan, 1947. His dad was a minister, and he was in an active ministry, and he became a Christian minister. He received a master's degree in divinity, and he currently lives in South Florida with his wife, Margaret, and he presides over a church there. If you go online and you go to johnmaxwell.co, I'm reading it right, you will find a very amazing website showing all the different services that he offers. A little write-up about him on his website. It says that John C. Maxwell is a #1 New York Times best-selling leadership author, coach, and speaker who has sold over 24 million books in 50 languages. Often called America's #1 leadership authority, Maxwell is identified as the most popular leadership expert in the world by Inc. magazine in 2014. He's also been voted the top leadership professional 6 years in a row by globalgurus.org. He's the founder of John Maxwell Company, John Maxwell Team, and Equipped, a nonprofit organization that has trained more than 5 million leaders in 180 countries. He speaks every year to Fortune 500 companies, presidents of nations, and many of the world's top business leaders. So we can trust John C. Maxwell as a respected authority on success. He has trained many people, has directed many people through his literature, his courses, and training. So what we can get out of this book, and yes, you can get it for free on YouTube and listen to it as I do. On page 19, he talks about the gentleman who founded Chick-fil-A. We now know that Chick-fil-A is a very successful fast food restaurant chain. And he talks about, the gentleman's name is Truett Cathy. And his story about how he got into the business and the challenges that he faced. At a young age, he showed a propensity for business. He would sell sodas and magazines and had a newspaper route. And he and his brothers decided that they would open a restaurant. 3 years after opening the restaurant with his two business partners, which were his brothers, they were killed. They were in a private plane, and they both died, his two brothers, in a plane crash. Naturally, this was horrible. And he managed to go along. In about a year, he was able to open a second restaurant. Things were going pretty well after about a year or so. Then there was tragedy. One of the second restaurant caught on fire and burnt down. And he had practically no insurance, so that didn't help. Then not long after that, now he has the one restaurant. He discovered that he had some suspicious polyps in his colon. He needed to have surgery. He ended up spending months out of actively working, which was very hard on the business. And as you read the story or listen to the story, it starts on page 19. It talks about other challenges that he had, but the thing is, he doesn't quit. In fact, on page 21, they have a quote from Thomas Edison that says, "Many of life's failures are people who did not realize how close they were to success when they gave up." So this is what we want to be aware of, is that we may look at someone else going, oh, wow, look how successful they are. You need to understand nobody reaches a certain level of success without setbacks or complete failures or devastation or fires or financial reversals, or there's a long list. Stuff happens. The thing about it is that you keep tweaking, you keep looking at it, retooling, reinventing, and you go forward. And you are always open to making those changes, not just quitting, because it can be scary and it's a challenge. In fact, we see that over and over again in John C. Maxwell's life. And pretty much anyone that you ever hear about, listen closely, and you'll find they had challenge after challenge. It wasn't a straight shot. So you and I need to be aware not to label ourselves or label someone else a failure. No one's a failure. It's when you are trying and then you quit. So you want to remember to be aware and open to improvements, a new technique, a new thought process, maybe a new partner. So you might think about how I can make this better, how I can make it work. You don't focus on, oh, why this happened to me? What, why? Don't worry about the whys. Think about the how. How can I make it better? How can I succeed? How can I achieve my goal? So this week, John C. Maxwell, Failing Forward. Our power word for the week is feedback. Stay away from that failure word. If we have failed, if something didn't pan out, that's okay. We'll review, correct, and go forward. Our Train the Brain thought for the week is success is a series of failure feedback, just like Thomas Edison. We don't see them as failures like I have to quit. We see them as feedback, something to learn from. And from our Hey, That's Funny file, the immortal Rodney Dangerfield said, "I was such an ugly kid. When I played in the sandbox, the cat kept covering me up." Crazy guy. So keep building your dreams and creating a life that you love because you deserve it. This is your life and you want to live it boldly. Have a great week, and I will look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Bye-bye. Hey, thanks for joining me this week. I look forward to being with you every week. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, please email me at coachlindy@lindyhutchinson.com. My name is spelled L-Y-N-D-I, so it's Coach Lindy, L-Y-N-D-I, at Lindy Hutchinson, LYNDIHUTCHINSON.com. I value what your input is, and I'm always open for suggestions and ideas. If you will like and or subscribe to this podcast, that would be wonderful. I appreciate it. And I enjoy anything that you might want to send in, or if you would like some more information about coaching, send me an email and I will get back with you, and we'll talk about how you can create your best life. Have a good week. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye-bye.